Why, hi there, Leti, Caspian Jurin, captain of the Green Solace, said. What a surprise! I didn't expect you here at all. Cass, Leti said, and nodded with a scowl. Will called you? The large blue grell smiled sheepishly. He couldn't sleep until I agreed to watch out for you, too. He grinned at Solace and Maia. No offense to you both. He knows you would do anything to keep him safe. Maia smiled softly. Yes, but you're his brother. That'll make him feel better. I really didn't expect to get off the ship without him. He does love his honey bunches here, Cass said. Leti ignored the three and looked around the market. The market spread out for miles. Stalls set up along each of the cluttered streets, selling everything imaginable, including the usual things like clothes, jewelry, and art, but they also had some unusual things. One stall held artifacts dug up from several planets across the galaxy. Another held actual physical books, while another held exotic pets. The pets drew his attention, but he forced himself to look away, heading toward the artifacts. The stall of artifacts was actually 3 stalls, loosely combined. A large tarp covered the top, protecting shoppers from the cold rain. Leti walked slowly up each aisle, admiring every item. There were some fakes, of course, but Leti spotted some genuine pieces. Catching the vendor's eye, he pointed to the 3 genuine and intact pieces. Time to put on his snooty Vextonian prime face. How much for these 3? He asked casually. Good eye, sir, the man said. These 3 are highly rare finds. Rare? Leti gave the man a skeptical look. If it's actually genuine, that one is only 2,600 years old at most. If it is indeed rare, there are several good pieces for sale that come with documentation. Several, he said, looking down his nose. Are you telling me you have notarized and sealed documentation for each piece you're selling? The man winced. Well, no. But what about the bowl here? It's from Siren's Lament, pre-human diaspora. Perhaps, but again hardly rare if it is indeed genuine, and you have no documentation. 1,500 credits for all? That's more than fair. The man gave him a sharp look. 2,100 credits for all 3. I won't sell them for 1 credit less. Leti sighed. Fine, he said. He waved to Cass. Carry those carefully and try not to be so clumsy. Yes, sir, Cass said deferentially, picking them up after the man wrapped them. Come along, Leti said, moving away from the stall. As soon as he was out of the vendor's sight, he stopped and wiggled in happiness, clapping. Oh, gods, I can't believe I just paid 2,100 for these 3. Those are all pre-human diaspora artifacts. Do you know how rare they are? Cass laughed. No, and I doubt the vendor really does either. They moved on, and Leti stayed way too long at the bookstall. He found journals from different time periods across the galaxy, old copies of novels, and a few more rare finds, one of which was an ancient Krellick. Maybe it would be useful. After haggling, he piled Cass down with more bags and continued on. He averted his eyes away from the exotic pets stall, forcing himself to look at the ground as they walked past. Looking away from the stall, he noticed a small man about the size of Drafe, perusing a clothing stall. He was very young, only 17 or 18 years old. The man's eyes traveled over each member of Leti's group, sizing them up. Leti recognized that look. Celine had the same one right before she sparred with one of the other crew. A practiced, knowledgeable assessment of an enemy. The man's cold black gaze met his, sending a shiver down his spine. The man nodded, then called the vendor over, holding up a beautiful green silk robe with golden roses stitched throughout it. Are you all right, Leti? Maia looked around the market, then back at him, eyes questioning. I'm fine, Leti answered, shrugging and shaking his head. So a man who was looking at his friends like they were prey. Nothing to worry about, really. Looking over the next stall, Leti promptly forgot the stranger when his gaze met a pair of green, Badenized eyes. A small toddler was crouched under a stall selling jewelry. A thick chain circled his neck, the other end tied to the leg of the stall. The cold rain soaked through his clothes, and he was shivering. The boy had his small fist bunched in his mouth, and his big eyes watched Leti's every move. Oh no,